everyone, and welcome to the TAS Morning Show. I'm Flora here, and today we have someone really special with us. So she is someone who actually helps you better your life by bringing about the necessary changes. Not just that, she also draws in connection with your childhood experiences that still might be subtly guiding your adult behavior. So please welcome Dishita Muliya.
Thank you so much, Flora and Arabian Stories, for having me here.
I'm so delighted to have you here. Yeah? Seriously, it's really nice.
Thank you.
So, also make sure you stay till the end because we have a fun rapid fire round. All right, so let's begin. So, Dishita, I recently heard that you won a Mind Transformation Award, right? Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, I actually wanted to know that were you always interested in being a mind transformation expert?
No. So I've had my degrees, my postgrad in finance, and life took a different route completely around 2018 when I had the opportunity to mentor myself with Bob Proctor, who's based out of US, Canada. And when I started working on myself, I realized this is the need of the hour, and every millennial out there needs to know what I know. And that's when I dropped off being a full-time finance professional, a hardcore number girl, and I picked up personal growth
That's
as
really nice.
a profession.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. We need more people like you in that case.
Thank you.
So, who actually was your mentor, professional mentor, who actually convinced you, or maybe you got influenced by the person in order to change your profession?
So I've never had one mentor that I could say has influenced me completely. I've had a couple of them, and a lot of gratitude and love for each of them for bringing me today, and helping thousands of people change their lives like I changed mine. And I would say I can actually name the mentor that really changed the course of my life, and
Yes,
that was
please.
Bob Proctor.
Oh, nice.
Because he really helped me understand how the subconscious mind works, how the conscious mind works, and why do we run our habits, our strengths, our potentials. Like, we're all underplaying our strengths and potentials,
true.
right?
That's true.
He really helped me dig into myself, and that is, I think, where I opened up the treasure in me.
So tell me one thing. So as you are a life coach and you have a lot of ways to go about your treatments and therapy sessions with your clients, what usually do you do? Like, how do you go about your treatments, and what are the different kind of treatments you do with your clients?
Absolutely. So as a title, yes, I'm a mind transformation expert, but with my qualifications, I'm an inner child therapist. I even do past life therapies. I am a life coach. I'm an author, and I do a lot of other kinds of therapy modalities as well. And whenever somebody walks in, based on what he or she needs. So that is a big part of what I do is I actually bring people in, and then we have this 30 minutes of understanding each other if we are a right fit for each other. That is when I ask them to fill out a questionnaire. I probe a few questions, and I understand where is this issue coming from, and based on that I suggest a therapy.
As you said that you suggest people certain kind of therapies, would there be a chance that probably you may not be able to suggest the right kind of therapy? Then what happens? Do they still want to come back to you? Like, what usually happens then?
So a big part of what I said, when somebody walks in, I actually shortlist, their issues, or we actually, come up with everything that they're troubled with, or perhaps people walk in saying, I know something is wrong, can you figure out for me? I get those vague clientele as well.
Right.
And that's when, somebody who has the right experience and expertise, you have to go to somebody who understands, the background of it.
Right.
And yes, there have been cases, I would say a few, which didn't follow and didn't flow through my expertise.
Right.
It's something that I had to refer to my colleague or somebody that I knew out there who would be the accurate therapist for that person. Yeah.
So as you just said right now that, people come in by saying that, there's something wrong with me, but I just don't know. So do you feel that the world is changing, like people are more accepting to, address that they have some fears and phobias? Do you feel the change happening in the recent times?
Absolutely. Don't you see a lot of people now being open to therapies, like getting into a yoga class, or maybe trying out different kinds of meditations. So according to research made at Harvard, the world is actually, the earth frequency is actually changing, and it's becoming higher and higher. By 2029, you will see that the earth is actually transforming into a more healed version of what it is right now. That is why you see everybody just walking towards a direction, everybody looking for help. And I think that also was something that brought me to where I am today.
Have you ever faced any challenges as such while coaching people? If so, please let me know.
Absolutely. So, when people walk in, there are two types of people. One, that are very open to surrendering themselves into whatever the therapist is suggesting.
Right.
And then there is one that holds a lot of guard and resistance.
Right.
None of them are wrong. It's just that, when you are working with somebody, you intuitively find your way with them.
Right.
So there are some clients that require good music, candles, maybe just a good cup of coffee, and then you see that they are a little more open.
It's the energy that matters, right?
Absolutely.
If the energy is right, then everything is right.
Absolutely.
So hence I was just about to ask you this itself, like when a person enters in, to your clinic, what do you usually do to make a person feel comfortable? Is there something around that you do, or you spread the energy? What do you usually do? Maybe me, if I walk in, how would you make me feel comfortable?
So this is an inside secret, which I think a lot of therapists would agree. Whenever somebody walks in, it's just not when you're meeting a client. It's even just on a day-to-day basis. Every therapist or every coach, every healer needs to work upon themselves on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
Like, just imagine somebody walking into my office and I am grumpy, I am sad, I bring out that bad vibe. You would never walk into my office again, right?
I agree.
So likewise, the primary way of making somebody comfortable is by working on myself. If I carry those calm energies into the room, you're naturally going to feel, or you're going to rub off with that calming effect.
Agreed.
Secondly, like I said, some candles, the way I begin my therapies is by taking them down with a relaxing guided meditation that I guide them with, and once they're calm, we get started with the modality that best fits that client.
You're open to meeting people even outdoors, depending on the client.
Absolutely. It's either my office or outdoors.
Yeah, because I agree, because the client's comfort is first. If the client is comfortable, then you can definitely go ahead with the treatment, right?
But one of the requirements with the kind of therapies I work with is, we need a comfortable chair or a hypno chair, like, where, you can actually be resting your feet and your head.
Right.
It's not talk therapy that I, provide. I do more than that. I work with the mind, the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So for that, it's like, when we're getting into the therapy, the client has to be really relaxed.
Okay.
And there are points when they feel sleepy, they start snoring, which is absolutely normal. That's a part and parcel of getting deep down into your mind. It's just a sign that you've gotten very deep down into your mind.
So yeah, as you've mentioned that you're an inner child healer, so how does this go about in the entire process? Could you please enlighten me a little, because I'm actually intrigued.
Absolutely. So as adults, we think that suddenly something has just started triggering us.
Correct.
But as a therapist, as an inner child healer, I'm going to tell you that everything that you are facing right now is just fruits, bad, good, of whatever was seeded into you as a child. So it's almost like, if a plant is growing really bad or there are weeds, you have to chop off the weeds and not just the upper part of a plant, right?
Correct.
So likewise, we all are ingrained with certain beliefs, with certain conditioning. It's almost like we were programmed in a certain way, okay? And this is culturally, every household has a different conditioning. Every individual, you could be a set of 3 siblings in the same house, yet you all grew up with different conditioning.
True,
okay?
I agree.
So yeah, so whenever somebody walks in, the way I work is I go deep down to the first time they experience that, and we chop that off.
Okay.
So
what about, like, say for instance, if a person comes in and you heal the inner childhood experience, what about, like, what happens after that? Say, what do you do in order for their adulthood to be better?
Absolutely. So, every specific problem takes at least about 5 to 6 sessions. And the moment, for example, somebody walking in saying, I am always carrying a lot of loneliness, no matter even if I'm in a romantic relationship, amongst my friends, at work, we go down, we chop off, and there are like multiple layers to it. It's just not one time, okay, but there has to be a one time when it initially started. It could be the time when you were in your mom's womb and your mom was feeling lonely and you picked up that emotion. That's how sensitive we are, okay? Or for instance, the mom was very healthy, the mom was very happy during her
Right.
pregnancy, but both the parents were working and the child felt like I'm not given enough time, and
Right.
it has started feeling
I
lonely.
think that happens quite a lot these days,
Absolutely.
because since our families have become like those, working class families, and everyone's going out and about, both our parents, like the parents are going out, the child is most of the time left alone. So I think that definitely develops a fear and phobia.
Absolutely.
And you're
Absolutely.
right.
And then it branches out into other issues as well.
Right.
Like fear of darkness, fear of public speaking, because a part of you who's always feeling lonely will never fit in.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Have you even received clients, like usually, what happens is like people are having fear of water or maybe heights or like even driving as such, Have you received some clients like
Absolutely,
that?
absolutely. That's my expertise. So I
Okay.
work a lot with fears, phobias, addictions,
Okay.
stress and anxiety.
So I would really like to know, before we wrap up, what's the one life lesson that you've learned over the last few years of your coaching?
A lot of them.
Okay.
One that is my favorite is, you might find yourself being stuck at the point where you are right now. But believe me, that's not the end of the journey. There is so much more within you that you have yet to discover.
That's great. Even I think we all should challenge ourselves every day.
Absolutely.
Where we are is not the final destination, as you've just rightly said. All right, so now is the time for our rapid five. Okay, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, so let's lighten up the mood. I have a few questions for you. There are 5 good questions. And so let's begin our rapid 5 round. So what are the 3 books that you would recommend our audience, and why?
First is my own book, Caterpillar to Butterfly. I'm still writing my own solo book. Second one would be Heal Your Life. I think that is amazing. The works of Louise Hay would get you started off to another level. Third one would be Psycho-Cybernetics by Max Wallace. I think understanding how your mind works could be, that good book could be a great starter to understand how your mind works.
Oh, that's great. I think I should start reading the 3rd book first. Then I will jump my way
Yes.
up, because they're very interesting. All right. So what's one life advice that you would like to give our audience?
Do not stop working on yourself. The moment you stop doing that, you will feel stuck. You will feel like there isn't much that I can get out of life. But life has a lot out there for you.
All right. So if you're given a chance to change one thing about your life, what would that be?
Nothing. I'll actually like to go and talk to the younger versions of me, which I do as a part of my inner child work, and tell her that don't worry, the Dishita that didn't have confidence has ample of it now and she's doing great.
Great.
So I don't think I would like to change anything because that just brings me to who I am today.
It's true.
When you don't have anything and then when you have everything,
Right.
it's like you're actually more appreciative of that journey.
All right. So what's that one item on your bucket list currently that you really want to achieve or do? Maybe 1 or 2, doesn't matter. Go ahead.
So I have 2. One is professional. I see myself as a TEDx speaker before the end of this year. The second one is actually I'm going on a Europe trip with my girlfriends.
Amazing.
Yes, before the end of this year.
Can I join you, please?
Absolutely.
That'll be fun.
More the merrier.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's an easy one. What does your ideal weekend look like? Because, since you have so many clients, I'm sure you need to even decompress in a certain way. What do you do on a
There is a
weekend?
Dishita out of me that is very different.
Okay.
She does a lot of crazy things that, this therapist Dishita wouldn't do otherwise.
So what does your ideal weekend look like?
Sleep, take care of my mental health.
Right.
That is by, reading books, watching movies, traveling. I love road trips, binge eating a few of my favorite desserts. That would typically my ideal weekend would look like in Oman. If I'm
Right.
traveling, it's a different story altogether. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. And last but not the least, where can our audience find you? Please let them know.
Absolutely. So you guys can see me, find me, talk to me. We are DMs on Instagram. So it's Instagram. I do have a link there that does offer a lot of free stuff. So go ahead and make the most out of it.
Thank you so much, Dishita. It was a pleasure having you here. Really, I'm so glad that you came and had a chat with us. I'm sure a lot of our guests out here have really got convinced in order to better their life by now. I'm sure.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, and I heard I'm the first guest with Flora, so thank you so much.
Thank you
Arabian
so
Stories
much.
and Flora.
Thank
It's
you.
been an honor, and I'm glad that I'm able to reach out many more people through the show.
Oh, definitely. And I'm actually enchanted having you here. I'm convinced that I need to undergo a therapy session with you. That's for sure. That's so
Thank you.
good.
Very humble.
Thank you
to
so
say that.
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much for watching the morning show. For more updates, please follow the Arabian Stories.